Thanks so much for being here today. I'm Diana Olenik, your host, and this is another episode of the XR Magazine podcast. Today, we're going to be speaking with Nick Busietta, who is the co-founder and managing director at the VR company called Liminal VR. He leads an award-winning VR team of neuroscientists, psychologists, 3D artists, animators, and software developers who are focused on leveraging the principles of neuroscience and cognitive psychology to induce emotional and cognitive states. Taking an evidence-based approach from research in the fields of neuroscience and psychology, as well as implementing tried and tested techniques from the games, music, and movie industries, the Liminal Platform delivers short, engaging virtual reality experiences to empower people to choose how they feel and perform. This all sounds super exciting. I can't wait to begin this amazing chat. Let's do it. Thanks so much, Nick, for being here today. Super exciting to be talking to you about this amazing company and your amazing work. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, very excited to be here.
Thank you so much. Yes, let's jump into it. We have a lot to talk and all interesting stuff, of course. So my first question for you would be, take us please to the time where discussions around creating an amazing app were taking place. How Liminal VR was born?
Yeah, well, it was I guess in a way, a classic startup story. It was myself and Liminal's co-founder and CEO, Damien Marathi, were in Damien's, I guess, house at the time, trying to look at potential avenues for, directions we'd like to generate a company together. And yeah, we were exploring a lot of ideas, and we came across VR very early. It was late 2014, I believe, and we were struck, I guess, like instantly by the ability of virtual reality to change how we felt when we used it. We're only using a very primitive headset, the old Google Cardboards with that run on a mobile phone. It was a very simple experience where you literally just standing, looking up at a virtual building and sort of moving through the building, nothing fancy. And it just generated this sense of awe in both of us, that you could experience scale in that way, and we thought, well, that's interesting. And so both Damien and I, we actually met online on a social media website called IdeaPod, and we sort of got to know each other virtually through that. And I guess we both met up and started exploring opportunities, from the background that we're both very passionate about technology and psychology and the opportunities that is going to bring for the world, and how to bring those two things together. And when we experienced that experience, for us, it was just obvious, like, this is the direction we had to go. So we formulated Liminal from the ground up, and wanting to, I guess, with not just to build VR as a VR company, but we wanted to do something different. We wanted to look at, okay, well, what is it about the medium that is novel and different to other technologies, and how do we focus on that and build a company and a platform around that to, I guess, maximize the potential of this technology. So for us, that was its ability to induce emotional and cognitive states. So we decided, well, we want to be world leaders in that, and we, I guess, developed a team, very research heavy rather than developer heavy at the beginning, and that was deliberate, because we knew there was no market, and we knew that we really wanted to specialize and carve out a niche in that in that space. So we didn't want to just port the old to the new. We wanted to create something completely different that no one had ever seen before. So Liminal was born. We established a team of psychologists and neuroscientists, did a lot of research into emotional state and cognitive state induction. Everything from its ability to calm people down, to generate states of awe, to relieve people from pain, to energize people, to freak people out, generate stress and fear responses and all sorts of things. We just wanted to say, what can this technology do? Where can it take you? And then on the back of that, we we started documenting our methodologies that we were uncovering. So we were looking at, what colors do you use? How do you use motion? How do you go about designing interactions to energize someone, or how do you create a breathing simulation, and what's the optimal inhalation exhalation ratios? How do you manipulate scale and all sorts of? There are a lot of different techniques that can be adopted to reliably move people and change how they feel and perform. And we wanted to, and still do, continually working on how to maximize those things, build an evidence base around them, and adopt a scientific rigor around VR design to achieve these effects. So maybe you fast forward a couple of years. It was really, we were very internally focused in the first couple of years, looking at how can we produce this stuff? How do we go about designing these experiences ourselves? We're looking at both VR research, but also general scientific literature around color emotion and breathing and mindfulness and things like that. We also looked very closely at the entertainment industry as a whole. What are the techniques that musicians use? What are the techniques that cinema use? So if you're watching a movie, or if you're listening to a song, you don't necessarily listen to that wanting to feel neutral. You want to feel something. So there are things going on there that's taking you places, and we wanted to understand that. But then it occurred to us, this research that we're doing is so powerful. Why, for us to really maximize the benefits of that research, it's not really just about what we can produce ourselves as a company. It's what the VR community can develop as a whole. So we decided in around 2017, and we went to VRLA to showcase some of our work and to start this process. We decided to adopt a community-generated content approach, where we're sharing our researches with developer partners all around the world, and getting them to build their own experiences, and we bring that into our own platform. And then we're evaluating experiences psychometrically, getting user response, and working out what works and what doesn't work. So in some ways, that our partnership program is going really well. We've got probably at last time we counted, I think 12 or 13 developer schools and universities on board using our research for teaching purposes across more than 20 campuses and 4 continents. And we've got this real sort of groundswell of developers getting behind the Liminal platform and working on producing content to go into I guess be showcased on the Meta store and elsewhere. So our platform itself currently has 4 categories of experience: calm, energy, pain relief, and awe. Although pain relief is temporarily on pause, but we're going to be bringing that back soon. And we've also got a virtual reality lab where we're testing different design approaches at scale. So we run these little experiments, and users earn virtual currency, which then sort of gives them privileges on the Liminal platform to unlock content. So it's a journey that will never end, but we're it's so far it's been remarkable for us just how so many developers all around the school, all around the world have been getting behind us and really sort of supporting the initiative, and we're really excited to move it forward.
Wow, that sounds super, super exciting. It sounds like you, of course, it has undertaken years of this research, of the experience of developing, designing, all of these. It's super amazing to hear always these amazing stories. So I think that was an interesting approach, the one of leveraging the community, because you might have some interested clients or users from the app in actually having it as an independent user, but also there is another community that is interested in generating these type of experiences also for the users. And I think that this is the right thing. Now that you mention, it's amazing because as we analyze other type of industries or businesses, this is what they do: user generated content. And
Yep.
from the business point of view, it makes sense. So we can learn many lessons from what you just mentioned. That sounds super interesting. And especially now with this emerging field of technology, these early applications would inform future businesses also on how this type of model works in this emerging technology. So interesting, very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that. And my question would be, from the point of view of the psychology, why do you think that we need to induce and augment emotional and cognitive states? Like, in other words, what are the benefits of this?
Well, I think there's many benefits. And it spans many different motivations and use cases for not just VR as a technology, and not even technology, just life. You can see people want to optimize themselves and upgrade all the time. They want to perform at a peak level. People like feeling different things. There's just an intrinsic quality about the human experience that really sort of, this is the reason we experience content. It's the reason we watch television, we watch sport, we play sport, we go to the movies, we go to the theater, we listen to a song. It's all about this these feelings that can be generated by I guess content in general. There are obvious use cases when it comes to, okay, well, what if we make someone feel a certain thing for a very specific purpose? So if you're a highly strung, anxious individual, or you're going through some stresses in life, the ability to reliably calm yourself down in the moment, on demand, with minimal effort and training has obvious benefits. If you're if you are experiencing chronic pain, and virtual reality can distract you from that pain so that you don't feel it anymore, or at least you've got analgesic effects that are very large. So it's not as pronounced as it would have been without the technology. You've got like this non-pharmacological intervention that can alleviate people's pain. So there's or maybe another use case, if you're looking at creating a training experience, you want people to perform under pressure. Making people feel pressure has obvious benefits in that training session when you want to simulate scenarios and things like that. And we do a little bit of work in that space as well. So there's lots and lots of different reasons why we'd want to do this. I would almost go to the extent that any content creator and any content consumer are doing it, whether knowingly or non-knowingly, creating or using these experiences explicitly for that purpose. So in some ways, like what we're doing is not overly new. It's just that we're sort of, our goal is to build a sense of rigor and framework and collect data to help optimize the design of these experiences to I guess get better and better and more I guess more effective in the way that we do that.
Mm-hmm. Thanks so much. So when you're speaking there about collecting the data based on all the research that we've done, what are some of those very important lessons that you've learned in terms of designing these type of experiences? Because the most important fact here is that the experience have to generate that emotional response anyways, right? Like that is the ultimate result. So the design of that is not just simple as putting certain interactions there in the app. Like, what are one of the best lessons learned that you've had based on the research and all the process?
Yeah, it's very hard to boil it down to one thing. It depends on what you're trying to create. But to give you a few examples, one obvious thing that developers use is color. We know for now when people think about colors, they typically think about blues and greens for calming experiences, and maybe reds and yellows for more uplifting, energizing experiences, and that's true. There's those sort of color palettes do have an effect, but what's more important than the actual color selection is the color saturation level. So you can have sort of soft muted colors that are more likely to be interpreted by users as being in a calming environment, or you can have very loud sort of saturated colors that are going to be more energized, so a very saturated blue or very soft pinks. The soft pink is more likely to be calming than the saturated blue. So that's just one example. With, for example, an awe experience, one thing about awe is that virtual reality, with VR, it's the first technology, in my view, that can really generate awe on demand, because you can play with scale and perceptual vastness and spaciousness in a way that other, watching a movie on a flat screen TV isn't able to produce that kind of experience. So, it's like with awe, it's about scale, it's about vastness, it's about surprise. And there's a slight there's almost two sides to awe. There's like that positive, it's called positive valence, but the positive side where you're experiencing something amazing, it's like, wow. And then there's almost that terror side. You've got this big giant tsunami coming your way, and you're in this state of awe, trying to interpret what's going on. And with awe, you're I guess trying to present a novel stimulus to to the user that sort of breaks down their schema, the way that they conceptualize the world, is bringing something new that they have to make sense of, this need for accommodation, and so you can do some really creative and literally awesome things. Just having this basic framework in mind, and it goes a lot more complex than that. We've got a whole psych docs that we make available to our developer partners with, I guess, design guidelines around everything from, color to music to sound design to mindfulness to breathing to, all sorts of different types of dimensions of VR design that you might take into account. But that gives you a little glimpse of some of the things that we're working on.
That's amazing. At the moment, you're focusing only in VR, is that correct?
Yeah, well, we have done projects which I can't talk about, unfortunately, with clients where we've taken some of the principles that from our research and adapted them into other mediums. So it is translatable. Depends on the technology and to what extent it can translate. It's very hard to generate an awe experience on a mobile phone. For example, when the purpose is to generate this scale and vastness and things like that. But yeah, it certainly isn't a VR specific endeavor. It's just that VR is where our focus is, because we think virtual reality has this ability to induce these effects in ways that other mediums don't. But it's not to say you're moved. You can feel awe watching a movie in a big Hollywood blockbuster, and that I think a lot of the things that we are working on and do could easily translate, and probably already do, to the way the cinematographers go about creating their experiences.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks so much for sharing that. Super interesting. What do you think that is the optimal length for a VR experience based on your research?
It depends on the VR experience. So, look,
Wellness type of experience.
yeah, a wellness experience. Look, we like it's hard to say. Like we, as a company, tend to like to keep the experiences short because I think it's a big commitment wearing a headset for hours on end. To improve your wellness. It's not to say that there's not reasons to do that. But I guess for us, we want to make it accessible and not feel like a really big commitment to use an experience on the Liminal platform. And what we've found is that virtual reality can really change people in literally, can only take a minute and you can feel different after using it compared to before. It's that powerful a medium. So it's really, again, what's optimal really depends on the use case. We've been doing work in pain relief, for example, and if you're undergoing a medical procedure and you want to use VR in conjunction with that, you don't necessarily want it to be a short 3-minute experience while you're receiving your injections and someone and you've got this procedure being performed on you. So in that situation, longer experiences might be more appropriate. So it just really depends.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, some people find wearing the headset is too heavy, like it comes, sometimes it tends to come to the front. It's sometimes uncomfortable. Sometimes people have this emotion type of illness, disease, motion sickness. So this is something that is very important to consider when designing. I love that in Liminal VR, the experiences related with wellness are designed on purpose to be short for that purpose. So thank you for expanding on that. I think that that's very important from the point of view of design. So speaking about these headsets, what do you think that is the future? How is it going to change, if any, the way that we're experiencing wellness, for example, type of experiences now, but with upcoming new devices, for example, devices that for mixed reality? What is the future of that? And if you want to add something even for AR, what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, well, I think in a way, the distinction between VR, AR, the real world, and even more sort of other sort of traditional sort of gaming devices is a very short-term distinction. In the future and potentially in the near future, we're going to see an increasing blend between these technologies, and that's where this metaverse word comes from that everyone's talking about now. It's not necessarily virtual reality versus augmented reality, which one's better or which one's going to take hold. They're both going to take hold, and they're both going to take hold at the same time, and in all likelihood they're going to be the same device that takes hold. So so the way I see it going is, you've touched on it, there's the form factor of virtual reality is currently a little bit cumbersome from the point of view of it can feel heavy if you're using it for long periods of time. That's all being addressed, and that what we're seeing is this convergence of a lot of different technologies. We've got 5G technologies coming to the fore. These these headsets that we currently have are going to be getting smaller and smaller, and then eventually becoming glasses that can switch between virtual, mixed reality and the real world in different blends. And then so I think that is at a hardware level where it's all going, and it's just a matter of time when that's going to happen. It's more of an engineering problem rather than anything else. I also think interactive technology is moving at such a rapid pace at a software level as well. We see a lot of AI. We see a lot of AI assisted, content generation tools coming through now. We see blockchain technologies and NFTs, which create very interesting possibilities for a company like Liminal, because it gives us a really interesting way to incentivize and reward content creators within our platform. So we're at the moment at Liminal, we're sort of taking a step back, looking at all these things and trying to work out the best strategy moving forward. Like with running a company such as ours in an emerging tech, you can't sort of sit still and say, well, look, we've landed on the structure now that's going to take us for the next 10, 20, 30 years. You've always got to be sort of looking at what's around the corner and anticipating that and setting yourselves up for the right footing to really sort of grow with this expanding metaverse that's coming.
Yeah, interesting. Thank you. So you mentioned that you have the opportunity for developers to be creating some content. How does it work with Liminal?
So we've got a design guide, which I guess summarizes a lot of our key research. It's a web-based resource which we call the Psych Docs, and the Psych Docs comes with two different sections. We've got a quick start guide, which is basically all the the quick and easy do's and don'ts of like how to design a calm experience, how to design an awe experience, a pain relief experience, and so forth. And then we've got a more detailed explore section where we're breaking down our research into different, into different categories of design, be it, color, motion, mindfulness, interactivity, sound, music. What it may be. There's quite a lot in there. So that is a more detailed deep dive into VR design. So the way it's currently working is we make give access to our partners, access to that research, and then we have we look for partners who've got about a year's experience in Unity at least, and we've got a creative concept template, and we actually provide feedback through the process for our partners as they're developing experiences. So for us, the incentive is we want to get the best output possible from our partners, because it means more content on the Liminal platform. We sort of build a collaboration. They go out, they start promoting what we do, and it's a win-win for everyone, and they get the benefit of working with a professional team of developers. They get the benefit of all this intellectual property that Liminal has been developing in VR design, and we're effectively making that available to partners at no charge. We just want to collaborate and get them on board and get them excited about building content for the Liminal platform.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So for that, I guess people can just head over to the Liminal VR website, and there is a link there for partners. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then just reach out on our contact form, and if anyone's interested in creating something, we're very happy to discuss.
Wow, that's amazing. Thanks so much. I think that it's been such a great conversation. We've learned so much. So grateful for this opportunity, Nick. It's so awesome to see a platform that is providing so much benefits for mental health, wellness, etc., and more even products that you offer. So I invite anybody to go and check out the website, and if anybody's interested, not only on their own mental health, but maybe someone is interested in creating, then head over to the Partners tab, and then you can find the application there to start creating with Liminal.
Yeah, that's great. And I'll just add too, we're always open to collaborations with universities and game development schools, and it's a big goal of ours to really get as many get involved with as many game development courses as we can, and just continue to collaborate and produce amazing work.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Thank you so much, Nick. Is there anything that you wish I had asked you today?
I think that's about it. I can understand, we've got there's a lot that we could potentially be talking about. Like I found this process very, very valuable. But for us, the key message is that we're on the Meta store as well, and we're very keen to collaborate with any content creators who are interested in joining us on this journey, and that's the key message that I'd like to leave everyone with. If this is of interest, please reach out, and we'll be happy to chat.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Nick. And we really want to establish, speaking about collaboration, these true relationships where we can hopefully generate more of these good news experiences that we can share in social media, and so people can see you more and more and more here in North America. So thank you so much, Nick, for such an amazing presentation and for sharing all your knowledge and experience. We really hope to hear from you again about this amazing news in our platforms too.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, and see you in the next episode.